Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the past, unable to move forward? Maybe it's a painful memory, a mistake you made, or even something you lost and can't forget. Today, we're going to talk about how Stoicism can teach us to focus on the present and on ourselves, leaving behind what we can't change. This video is for you who wants to learn how to free yourself from the weight of the past and find the strength to move forward. Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Hugo, a specialist in human behavior and passionate about Stoic philosophy. Today, we will explore together one of the most powerful teachings of this philosophy: how to focus on yourself and leave the past where it belongs. Believe me, this is a skill that can transform your life. Stoicism teaches us that we have no control over the past. It has already happened, and nothing we do now can change it. However, we have complete control over how we react to it. This is the key to emotional freedom, accepting what we cannot change and directing our energy toward what is within our reach. Imagine you are carrying a suitcase full of rocks. Each rock represents a regret, a hurt, or a loss. The more you hold on to these rocks, the heavier the journey becomes. Stoicism invites us to set down this suitcase and walk lighter, focusing on what truly matters, the present moment. But how do you do this in practice? How do you let go of what has already passed and redirect your attention to the now? That's what we'll explore throughout this video. I'll share with you deep reflections, practical examples, and exercises that can help you apply these teachings in your life. Before we begin, I want you to ask yourself, what's holding you to the past? What is the stone you are carrying that you need to let go of? Think about this as we embark on this journey of self-discovery and transformation together. Now that you know what to expect, let's dive into the first important point of this conversation. Why do we insist so much on looking back? Let's understand this together. It's curious how often we become prisoners of the past. But why does this happen? The answer lies in our minds. The human brain is programmed to learn from past experiences, especially those that caused us pain or discomfort. It's a survival mechanism. By remembering what went wrong, we believe we can avoid the same mistakes in the future. However, when this habit becomes excessive, it paralyzes us. Stoicism teaches us that life is like a river. It is always flowing. When we insist on looking back, it's as if we're trying to hold on to water that has already passed. No matter how hard we try, it will never return. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not events that disturb us, but rather our interpretation of them." In other words, it is not the past that holds us, but the way we choose to deal with it. Often, we hold on to the past because we are afraid to move forward. It's as if the unknown is scarier than the pain we already know. But Stoicism reminds us that fear is just a projection of the mind. The future is uncertain, yes, but it is also where our freedom resides. When we accept this, we begin to free ourselves from the chains of the past. Another reason we look back so much is guilt. We feel that if we had acted differently, things could have been better. But could they really? The Stoics believe that everything happens as it should. We have no control over external events, only over our actions and reactions. Blaming yourself for something that has already passed is wasting energy that could be used to build a better future. It's important to remember that the past does not define who we are. It is only a part of our story, not the entire book. When we understand this, we begin to realize that we have the power to rewrite our present and, consequently, our future. And that's exactly what we'll talk about in the next part: how to focus on the present and build a new reality. Focusing on the present is one of the most liberating practices that Stoicism teaches us. But this doesn't mean ignoring the past or pretending it never existed. On the contrary, it means recognizing it, learning from it, and then redirecting our attention to the only moment that truly matters: the now. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The life of a man is what his thoughts make of it." This phrase reminds us that the present is shaped by how we choose to think and act at this exact moment. One of the most effective ways to focus on the present is to practice mindfulness. Although this practice is widely associated with Buddhism, it is also deeply aligned with Stoic teachings. Whenever your mind starts to wander to the past or worry about the future, bring it back to now. Observe your breathing, the environment around you, or even the sensations in your body. This helps anchor your mind in the present and reduce anxiety. Another powerful exercise is what the Stoics call the dichotomy of control. Ask yourself, do I have control over this? If the answer is no, let it go. It's no use wasting energy on something that is out of your reach. Instead, focus on what you can do now to improve your life. This simple practice can completely transform how you deal with challenges and difficulties. Additionally, it's important to cultivate gratitude for the present. Often, we are so focused on what we've lost or what we want to achieve that we forget to value what we already have. Take a pause and reflect. What is good in your life at this moment? It could be something small, like a hot cup of coffee in the morning, or something bigger, like the presence of people who love you. Gratitude helps us see the present more clearly and find joy in small things. Remember that the present is the only moment in which you can act. The past is gone, and the future is yet to come. Everything you do now has the power to shape what is to come. So, instead of wasting energy on regrets or worries, use it to build the life you want. In the next part, we will explore how Stoicism teaches us to deal with losses and detachments so we can move forward with more lightness. Life is marked by cycles of gains and losses. We lose people, opportunities, material possessions, and even versions of ourselves. However, Stoicism teaches us that loss is a natural part of existence, and that suffering often comes from the attachment we create to things or people. Epictetus reminds us, never say about something, "I lost it," but rather, "I returned it." This perspective helps us see that nothing truly belongs to us, and that everything is temporary. One of the most well-known Stoic practices for dealing with losses is the premeditation of adversity, premeditatio malorum. This means consciously reflecting on the possibility of losing what we value. Although it may seem like a negative practice, it prepares us emotionally to accept the impermanence of life. When we recognize that everything is transient, we learn to value the present more and suffer less when something goes away. Another important point is understanding that excessive attachment makes us vulnerable. When we cling to something or someone as if our happiness depended on it, we are handing over our power to external factors. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, from our ability to live in harmony with nature and our own values, not from things that are outside our control. Dealing with losses also requires us to accept reality as it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This phrase reminds us that even in the face of loss, we can find beauty and meaning in what we still have. Accepting reality does not mean resigning, but finding the strength to move forward. Stoicism invites us to view losses as opportunities for growth. Each loss brings with it a lesson, a chance to become more resilient and wise. When we change our perspective and see difficulties as part of the learning process, we stop being victims of circumstances and become protagonists of our own story. In the next part, we will talk about how to build a resilient mindset focused on self-development. Resilience is one of the most important virtues we can cultivate, and Stoicism offers valuable tools for this. Being resilient does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that nothing affects us. On the contrary, it means recognizing difficulties, learning from them, and moving forward stronger. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This phrase summarizes the essence of a resilient mindset, focusing on what we can control. One way to develop resilience is to practice self-observation. Whenever something goes wrong or when you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? This approach turns problems into growth opportunities. Instead of feeling defeated, you start to see each obstacle as a step in your self-development journey. Another pillar of resilience is patience. We live in a world that values quick results, but Stoicism teaches us that true progress takes time. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Be kind to yourself as you work to overcome challenges and build a better life. What's important is to take one step at a time, always towards your goal. Additionally, it's essential to cultivate self-confidence. Often, we feel incapable of dealing with difficulties because we underestimate our own strength. But remember, you have overcome difficult moments before, and you can do it again. Reflect on your past achievements and use them as proof that you can face anything life throws your way. A resilient mindset is one that is always open to learning. Stoicism teaches us that we are eternal students of life. Each experience, good or bad, brings with it a lesson. When we adopt this perspective, we begin to face challenges with curiosity instead of fear. In the next part, we will explore how Stoicism helps us find purpose and meaning, even in the midst of adversity. One of the greatest teachings of Stoicism is that even in the most difficult situations, we can find purpose and meaning. Marcus Aurelius, who faced wars, betrayals, and epidemics during his reign, wrote, "The soul becomes stronger by fulfilling the purpose given to it." This phrase reminds us that even in times of adversity, we can choose how to react and how to give meaning to our experiences. Finding purpose begins with a simple but powerful question. What can I do with this? Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Stoicism invites us to change perspective. Every challenge is an opportunity to exercise virtues like courage, patience, wisdom, and compassion. When we see difficulties as a training ground to become better, we begin to find meaning even in the most painful situations. Another important aspect is understanding that purpose doesn't have to be something grand or distant. It can be in the small actions of daily life. Epictetus said, we should play our role in life as best as possible, whatever it may be. This means that even in difficult moments, we can find purpose in being a source of support for others, in learning something new, or simply in doing the best we can with what we have. Stoicism also teaches us that purpose is closely linked to our values. Ask yourself, what is truly important to me? When we align our actions with our values, we find a sense of direction, even amid chaos. For example, if you value honesty, you can find purpose in being truthful with yourself and others, regardless of circumstances. Finding meaning in adversity doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It means recognizing that pain is part of life, but it doesn't have to define us. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust and was deeply influenced by Stoicism, wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." This is the essence of Stoicism, finding strength and purpose within us, even when everything around us seems to be falling apart. Now that we've explored the foundations of Stoicism and how it can help us deal with the past, build resilience, and find purpose, it's time to bring these teachings into practice. After all, Stoic philosophy is not just a theory, it is a guide to action. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be one." This phrase reminds us that the true power of Stoicism lies in applying it in everyday life. The first step is to establish a daily moment for reflection. The Stoics believed that introspection was essential for self-development. At the end of the day, ask yourself, how did I handle today's challenges? Did I react in a way that aligns with my values? What can I improve tomorrow? This simple practice helps maintain focus on the present and learn from experiences without being tied to the past. Another way to apply Stoicism is to practice active gratitude. Start the day by reflecting on what you have now instead of lamenting what you've lost. Be thankful for the opportunities still ahead of you, the people who support you, and the strength you have to continue. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a conscious choice to focus on what is positive, even amid difficulties. Additionally, adopt the practice of the dichotomy of control in all areas of your life. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, ask, is this under my control? If the answer is no, free yourself from worry. Direct your energy to what you can do now. This mindset shift is liberating and allows you to live with more lightness and clarity. Another powerful exercise is conscious detachment. Whenever you notice you're holding on to something or someone in a harmful way, remember Epictetus's words, "Whatever you love, love as if it were borrowed." This doesn't mean loving less, but loving more wisely, recognizing the impermanence of all things. This detachment helps us value the present without creating dependencies that imprison us. Remember that Stoicism is an ongoing practice. Don't pressure yourself to be perfect. The Stoics themselves knew that perfection is unattainable. What's important is to take small steps every day, focusing on what you can control and leaving behind what you cannot. By doing so, you will be building a lighter, more meaningful life, more aligned with your values. With that, we conclude our journey today. I hope these Stoic teachings have inspired you to focus on yourself and leave what has passed in the past. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This way, you help us bring this message to more people who can benefit from it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.